What is God's economy? God's economy is God becoming man so that man can become God in life and in nature, but not in the Godhead. It's in fact pretty vague to me, but it's also incredibly personal. Hold on one second. When I got saved, before I got saved, I was very, especially the year before I got saved, I was very anxious. It just seemed to me that I never had a sense of peace inside, and I looked for it everywhere. I looked for it at school. I tried to hang out with the most popular kids at school. I tried to have a girlfriend. Tried many things, but in the end, I'm still me. I just don't have the peace. So when I first came to the church, that was 2004, so that was 4 years ago. I was going to different churches before then, and I had some very memorable experiences with them too. But for some reason, I just didn't settle. I just didn't settle in one of them. I just kept floating around. But when I went to this church 4 years ago, there was just something different that I couldn't say or describe. That was a young people's meeting. Everyone in the church that night were young people. And as the meeting started, we just started singing. There was just something about the songs and the atmosphere in that church that was very different. Maybe it was very quiet, maybe it was very organized, maybe the musics that they produced were very, very sincere, very good. In a sense, it sounds good, very appealing to my ears. So I just felt there was something different, and I had the sense of peace I was looking for. But I was still hesitant. I still planned to do the things that I did to other churches, which was to stay for a few weeks and then leave. But someone at that church would not give up on me. In a way that's kind of annoying, because I would never do that on someone else. But one lady just kept calling me, kept explaining to me that I shouldn't hesitate getting baptized. There was no reason to wait, and how much other people have benefited from getting baptized and becoming a Christian. So, she was that sincere, and she was that determined to get me, and I eventually gave in. So it was a combination of my and other people's factors that determined my choice to become a Christian. But since I became a Christian, I think I really benefited from it. In the first year, there was nothing different. The only thing different is now on Sundays I have something to do, which is to go to church. But then in the second year in college, after the summer school of truth, I felt there was something that's changing inside of me. It was very, very obvious. And I felt like my sense for what I want in my life changed dramatically. I started Basically, when I came back to college for the next year, I just decided that I had enough of what I had in the previous year. I gave up on a lot of things very spontaneously. It was not painful at all. It was very peaceful decision. I decided to, maybe I didn't even decide at all. I just spontaneously moved away from the things that I used to do, from the people I used to hang out with. And that, I basically stick with that ever since. There were half a year in which I acted, in which I was different. I sort of rebelled against my faith. I questioned my faith. And it was not a pleasant experience. So, anyways, that's my story about my faith. I guess different people have different needs. Some people, they just don't need some kind of support. They think they can support themselves, and they are probably right. They're very independent, they have very strong personalities. They have very strong wills to accomplish, and they are very sociable people. But to some other people, they just, like me, I need something other than me. I need to be part of something great. My accomplishment is important, but what's more important is that I belong to something bigger. Something bigger that supports me, that satisfies my need of belonging, but at the same time doesn't swallow me. It's not like a cult that basically dominates your life. And at least some individuals in my church don't do that. So that's why I still stick with this church. Maybe in another year or two, I'll have another rebellion. I hope that will not happen, but for now, I'm gonna stick with it. I'll keep my choices open though. I'll not shut my doors to other religions, other church denominations. Yeah.